John presents the whole trial differently. John says the high priest at the time was Appas, Caiaphas's father-in-law. He asks Jesus what he has been teaching. John 18:20. Jesus replied, "Everyone knows what I teach. I have preached regularly in the synagogues and the temple, where the people gather. I have not spoken in secret." Jesus asks why they are questioning him, and that they should ask the people he was teaching instead. Verse 22. Then one of the temple guards standing nearby slapped Jesus across the face. "Is that the way to answer the high priest?" he demanded. Verse 23. Jesus replied, "If I said anything wrong, you must prove it. But if I'm speaking the truth, why are you beating me?" Then they sent him to Caiaphas. Verse 28. Jesus' trial before Caiaphas ended in the early hours of the morning. Then he was taken to the headquarters of the Roman governor. His accusers didn't go inside because it would defile them, and they wouldn't be allowed to celebrate the Passover. Pilate asked what he had done. The people said they wouldn't have arrested him if he wasn't a criminal. Pilate told them to judge him by their own law. They said only the Romans could execute someone. This fulfills how Jesus said he would die, as in John 12:32. "And when I am lifted up from the earth, I will draw everyone to myself." Verse 33. He was saying this to indicate how he was going to die. Pilate went back to headquarters, called Jesus, and asked him if he was the king of the Jews. John 18:34. Jesus replied, "Is this your own question, or did others tell you about me?" Verse 35. "Am I a Jew?" Pilate retorted. "Your own people and their leading priests brought you to me for trial. Why? What have you done?" Verse 36. Jesus answered, "My kingdom is not an earthly kingdom. If it were, my followers would fight to keep me from being handed over to the Jewish leaders. But my kingdom is not of this world." Verse 37. Pilate said, "So you are a king?" Jesus responded, "You say I am a king. Actually, I was born and came into the world to testify to the truth. All who love the truth recognize that what I say is true." Verse 38. "What is truth?" Pilate asked. Then he went out again to the people and told them, "He is not guilty of any crime." Then he explained that he could release Jesus because it was Passover, and asked if he could. They said they wanted a notorious prisoner named Barabbas. John says he was flogged and mocked before preparation. John 19:4. Pilate went outside again and said to the people, "I am going to bring him out to you now, but understand clearly that I find him not guilty." Verse 6. When they saw him, the leading priests and temple guards began shouting, "Crucify him! Crucify him!" "Take him yourselves and crucify him," Pilate said. "I find him not guilty." Verse 7. The Jewish leaders replied, "By our law he ought to die, because he called himself the Son of God." Verse 8. When Pilate heard this, he was more frightened than ever. He took Jesus back to headquarters and asked him where he was from, with no answer. Verse 10. "Why don't you talk to me?" Pilate demanded. "Don't you realize that I have the power to release you or crucify you?" Verse 11. Then Jesus said, "You would have no power over me at all, unless it were given to you from above. So the one who handed me over to you has the greater sin." Verse 12. Then Pilate tried to release him, but the Jewish leaders shouted, "If you release this man, you are no friend of Caesar. Anyone who declares himself a king is a rebel against Caesar." So Pilate brought Jesus out again and sat on the judgment seat. Verse 15. "Away with him," they yelled. "Away with him! Crucify him!" "What? Crucify your king?" Pilate asked. "We have no king but Caesar," the leading priests shouted back. So he was taken away to be crucified.